Loading snacks. What it do, snackers, snacksettes, snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here at Baltimore Comic-Con 2021. So we've been making the rounds. This row has been full of product that we need to see. We found something else we need to see. Do me a favor, introduce yourself to everyone who's watching.
Hi guys, thanks for hanging out. My name is Trevor Fernandez-Linkevich, the writer, creator, liar of Area 51, the Helix Project, I guess, right?
The liar, huh?
Right, yeah, I mean, like, all stories are really us telling lies that have truth behind them, right?
I dig it. I dig it. So talk to me about where the idea behind this came from.
Yeah, so, I mean, this was my first major project, and I always wanted to bring the absolute peak of professionalism, especially considering, like, I want to make a name for myself, I want to deliver a quality product, a quality story.
Yeah.
And they always say to write what you know.
Sure.
And so for me, you know, having a background in molecular biology, the first thing that came to mind is I wanted to do a story that kind of centered around sci-fi and genetics. And the, you know, central core concept or thematically at deconstructing the idea of identity, right? And having a conversation about the importance of self-definition as opposed to external definition was something that I wanted to do. And, you know, genetics, I mean, it's literally your physical identity, right? Like it's the code that makes up everything you are in a physical sense. So I thought that was a really great way to examine that, you know?
I dig it. So let's talk about the project. Let's talk about the story. Let's talk about the book.
Absolutely.
Give me the rundown.
So Area 51, the Helix Project is a 6-issue limited series that sort of presupposes that the specimen that was cited publicly in Roswell in the 50s masquerades as a human being for a few decades until he eventually exposes himself in order to save a human child.
Okay.
But in doing so, he is murdered for it. And he leaves behind a half-breed human son, Kent, to pick up the pieces. And he is witness to his father's death firsthand in cold blood. 15 years later, he is met with a mysterious message, the sender claiming to have been there the day that his soul was stolen from him, and that they have a means of getting it back.
Okay.
And so this sort of drives him to uncover the circumstances around his father's supposed death that he once thought was concrete, and it drops him into the jaw of this Cold War genetic conspiracy and into the grasp of the unhinged Colonel Winters, who is our series antagonist.
Okay.
And it like I said earlier, man, it really dives into this crisis of identity and mental health and memory and how we reconcile all of those things. It's a conversation about absolutism and seeing, you know, that the world's not so black and white, that there are many shades of gray in between.
Indeed. Yeah, man. So how long have you been working on this?
So this actually, right about now is about a year since the first issue released. So
okay.
Just over a year.
Okay. How many issues are out?
So the third book is currently at the printer. The first 2 covers being there.
Okay.
The 4th book is being worked on right now in terms of art, but it's written. I've written all 6 issues.
Yeah.
So we already know that it's going to be a tight, contained story.
Okay. So this isn't going to be like we get to the end of issue 6 and there's a cliffhanger.
I think the end of issue 6 is probably the best ending that I've written to an issue so far, and that's something I've been known for. So each issue will leave you sitting on the edge of your chair, and it gets crazier and crazier every time until we finally reach the climax of the story, and Kent really has to come to this both physical and internal sort of conflict with himself and the forces of his world that are looking to bring him down.
I dig it, man. It sounds like there's a bit more to your reasoning behind writing this story than just your background in molecular biology, right? The kinds of things that you're talking about hitting on in terms of identity and people's mindsets and what people are going through. Can you talk to me about that a little bit?
I mean, absolutely. I just think it's something that anybody can relate to. And for me, as a storyteller, I think the greatest thing I can possibly do is open up a conversation, a dialogue about something that's important, and doing so through an entertaining way. And comics being, to me, I think the most creatively satisfying medium of all time, arguably the most unique medium of all time, and a medium that deserves a lot more respect than it gets. That was, you know, the obvious choice for me to tell this story.
I dig it.
But yeah, when it comes down to it, man, I mean, like, in some way or another, we all struggle with a sense of self-identity. And we all struggle with guilt and with sort of validating who we are to the world. And sometimes assuming an identity that is superficial and given to us because we don't want to offend or because
it's pleasing to the outside world, but not necessarily to us.
Right, and that's damaging, man. That's damaging.
You
gotta love yourself. You gotta come to grips with who you are. And if you need to make a change, then do so and be healthy about it.
Yeah,
you know?
I dig that. I dig that.
That's super important for me, man.
I was just gonna say, it sounds like it's a much more important story than the outward alien Area 51, right? So forth. So listen. In wanting to get a story like this out to the masses, if someone isn't fortunate enough to be here at Baltimore Comic-Con, how do they get to this story? How do they find you?
Absolutely. So you can check me out on any social media at Pocket Watch Press. You can sign up for my newsletter. I don't know if you want to get a close-up of the QR code. You can scan that. You'll get all of the behind-the-scenes information. What the cool thing about the newsletter is we bring the readership, the closest fans, right into the mix of it. You get to see behind-the-scenes process shots of how a comic is made, which I think is pretty unique and individual.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that we run all of the pre-orders for these books through Kickstarter. We crowdfund, and that is a great way to involve the readership. For example, a shout out to Dustin Remy, a backer of ours who's been with us since day one. He actually got included as a murder victim in issue 2. His likeness. He was there for the first full appearance of our series Antagonist. People can sign up and become producers of the series. Like for me, man, as a creator, obviously, like this story is important to me, and I want to get it out there. But I also value the people that give it the time of day, and more so that can connect with it. So I want to bring y'all in. I want to make sure that you feel involved and feel that this story is just as much yours as it is mine.
I dig it.
Right? Because I'm not just telling this story for myself. I'm telling this story to open up that sort of expressionistic dialogue. And so, you know, like the Kickstarter is a great way to do that. So in January, I think you'll see mid to late January, the issue 4 Kickstarter will be launching, and we will have opportunities for you to pick up issues 1, 2, and 3 through that Kickstarter. But I will say that we're running out of the first print of issue 1 pretty rapidly, so if you do want to get in on that train, hit us up on social media. There are links to our website for shopping and whatnot, and you'll be the first to know when we show up to shows like this and get to talk to folks like you, man.
I dig it, man. I really do. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. Listen, you guys make sure you go follow Pocket Watch Press. That's how you get the info that you need so you can catch up on this story. I think you should do that. It sounds super important. I'm out. Toodles and loos.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.